What is up, gamers? It's your boy here, Sicko Mode 65 here, bringing you another epic Let's Play part of Pokemon Red version. In the last episode, we beat Sabrina. In this episode, we're going to use Surf and head all the way down to Cinnabar Island. Isn't that epic?
Yeah, by the way, I'm still here, guys.
Shh. Speaking of which, before I forget, repels.
Ooh, you aren't gonna fight every single Pokemon every 5 steps.
Oh, I found a water boyo. What's wrong with me swimming? Nothing, gamer. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
I feel like if you have to
You're a little
say,
thick to be swimming, though, but hey, I'm not gonna judge you.
I feel like if you have to ask what's wrong with me swimming, there's
I mean, he is a
something
chunky
wrong.
boy. He's pretty chunky. But besides, oh yeah, doesn't Tentacruel have like a really good special stat in this gen?
I do not know. I feel like Tentacruel got better, so maybe not.
I don't know. I know it had a really high special stat, though, because it was based on special defense. Yeah, so this is the one area in the game where Venusaur is actually kind of useful because, you know, water-type Pokemon. Yeah, honestly, so I'm pretty much going to be sticking with my whole thing of just speeding up battles that aren't important. I know it will shorten the episodes, but at the same time, who really cares?
I mean, episodes will just go with the same amount of time. We'll just get through more important things.
I mean, once you get to a certain point in the game, it's not really fun to just watch a guy spam one move anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pokemon, we went into... Oh, Growth. Should I learn Growth?
What does Growth do again?
Increase special attack. I could get rid of Poison Powder for it until I get Sleep Powder.
Yeah, I feel like that's good for right now.
I've never used Poison Powder anyway.
Yeah, and Poison Powder just...
Oh yeah, so I found out that it wasn't Poison Powder, it was Badly Poisoned, and... Okay, so here's the thing. I figured out what was actually wrong with Toxic Leech Seed in Gen 1. Basically,
Yeah.
the Leech Seed would take priority over the damage increasing, so Toxic would never go up in damage.
Oh, so that was the broken part
Of the poison status we were talking about back then.
Yeah, I think whenever we were talking about, we were referring to that, like, Leech Seed got a damage buff from being from poison.
No, we were talking about that, but that was not correct. Oh yeah, Leech Seed also did get a buff in later games. I think they increased it to 1/8 instead of 1/16 health. Yeah, but back to what we were saying, I'm excited for Gen... I guess excited is the word. I mean, I don't have a Switch, so I can't play it, but maybe someday I'll get a Switch.
Oh, we actually didn't introduce that topic. One topic we planned on discussing today from our giant list that is non-existent, I swear this is all on the spot, is Gen 8, and what we think it's going to be like, and what we hope for.
I'm hoping it's gonna be good, but something tells me it's gonna follow all of the, like what the other Pokemon games do, and just way too easy.
Yeah. Actually, Funk made a really good video
About,
that I really liked.
I would really like that, but I wish I didn't have to
Yeah.
play a ROM hack in order to get the experience he was talking about.
Okay, for those of you who have not watched Funk's video, link it in the description.
Maybe if I feel like it.
Maybe. But if not, we're gonna just give a brief summary
By the
of
time
what
this
he
comes
said.
out, it's gonna be like 3 weeks past when the video came out.
Yeah, we're gonna give a brief description of the video. And basically what it is he basically just talks about how he would like Gen 8, or just any future Pokemon game,
For you to be able
to
to do the
be-
game in any order.
yeah, so there would be no definitive order of when to do stuff, there really wouldn't be a main villain, and if it would, it'd be pretty minimal interaction that could be done at any point.
I think that'd
And-
be good.
HMs were non-existent.
Well, I mean, they
and-
basically removed HMs in Gen. He said he didn't want HMs gone, he did, but he said he wants just roadblocks in general to just be removed.
Yeah, and just having it so that you can start in any town and progress to any gym
At
in any
your-
order you please. And it would basically be how, like, the anime portrays gym leaders, where they have different Pokemon teams for based on what.
It would be an XP multiplier depending on like which gym, how many gym badges you have. Here's the thing, I liked the idea of having more than 8 gym badges and having you not have to do them all. I think that'd be interesting.
That would be interesting to have be like get like a choice of like maybe like a out of a pool of like 12.
Yeah, that would be nice, but I feel
But
like
at the
Funk kind of
same
just
time,
described it best. Pokemon is very bad at stretching outside their comfort area.
well, that's just because, like, we all think that, like, only really, like, adults and teenagers that grew up with Pokemon play it, but it's mainly a kid's game
Well,
still.
kids don't care if it's different. Kids just will play whatever's thrown in front of them.
Yeah, but I feel like some people with their simple attention spans would just be like, I can't look up a direct walkthrough on how to get through this game, so what am I going to do?
Well, you're more likely to have a kid quit the game because he's too lazy to find the cut HM than he is to quit the game because he just doesn't understand exactly what he's supposed to do.
I feel like, though, it's just like in most games, though, in most Pokemon games, it's pretty direct where you have to go.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. There's a couple HMs that you can accidentally skip over, and while sure you don't need them, like, say, for example, what Zool brought up, like, 20 episodes ago with the whole Flash HM, if you skip over the Flash HM, Rock Cave becomes almost impossible unless you just spend an hour just running around.
I remember that conversation about how we would only play the Rock Caves.
You'd only play in the daylight. That's kind of sad. Can we get a Papa Rip in the chat for Zool?
Can we get a epic gamer death?
Yeah, still, can we get an epic gamer death for how useless Venusaur is?
Yeah.
But back to what we were saying. If I had to say one thing about, like, just Pokemon in general, I enjoy it being linear sometimes, but I feel like the greatest point he brought up was kind of like teams. Like, the game encourages you to make different teams, but the way it's designed is in a way where you basically have to wait till the end of game to get into the, like, you'd basically wait till the last 3 gym leaders to get any Pokemon. Like, here's the thing, either you pick up all your Pokemon in the early game, and you maybe pick up 1 in the late game, or more than half your Pokemon isn't available to the late game. Like, say for example, Sugar Conroy's Let's Play of Platinum. Legit, he didn't pick up his final member till the 8th gym because frickin' the Pokemon he wanted wasn't available until then.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the biggest problem with Pokemon is that there's a lot of types in Pokemon that are just locked out of most people's comfort zone.
Well, I mean, if you want to use an Ice type in Gen 4, get ready to wait till all the way before the 7th gym leader. Oh, hey, we're here.
Yeah, and that's at the earliest if you want to use it.
And let's just ignore... It's just... Here's the thing, Pokemon, the only games I felt like were okay with this are games that had a lot of options early on, like Emerald and Black and White. But besides that, I felt like the games just often kind of leave you screwed early game, because most of the Pokemon in the early game are going to be the bad Pokemon you find everywhere.
Yeah, it's just like in most playthroughs of like, I think Gold and Silver are the worst at this. Of how most people pick up whatever starter, like a Pidgey and maybe an Manphy or whatever. Not Manphy, it's the
You know what,
sheep.
I'm going to go do that
Flaffy.
Oh yeah, everybody picked up a Flaffy in Gen 2. I'm gonna go do a side quest quick where you can get a very special Pokemon if you go all the way back to Pewter City. It's the Pokemon that I'm not gonna use, but I'll pick it up anyway because I'm a gamer.
But yeah, it's just like it's like most 99% of people get a Flaffy in Gen 2. It's because Flaffy's like what makes the game barely playable.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Electric is just such a pretty... It's not a great type, but it's a versatile type. It can do decent against everything.
You have to use it if you're using
You get your Lapras at level 15 in this game?
Whoa.
That is sad. Seriously, level 15. I'm pretty sure you get it in like the later games at level 25, level 50. You get the fossil Pokemon at level 30, but Lapras is too good. We gotta keep that one at least until level 15. That's too good.
Yeah, just like, but I feel like if you use Chikorita in Gen 2, you almost have to use a Flappy.
Well, here's the problem. Chikorita isn't available in Crystal, so that's gonna be fun when I inevitably use Chikorita. I mean, wait, what?
Flappy. You said Chikorita isn't available in Crystal?
No, I said Flaffy isn't available in Crystal.
No, you said Chikorita.
I meant Flaffy, if that's what I said. Okay, I'm gonna steal this guy's old Amber. Shh. I think the chunk of amber contains Pokemon DNA. It would be great if it could be rescued. But my colleagues ignore me. I have a favor to ask. Take this to a Pokemon lab and get it examined. Okay, the old amber. Thanks, gamer. So guess what I can do with this special old amber?
Oh, what can you get? Maybe a Pokemon.
I'll head all the way to Cinnabar Island and show you. Honestly, I don't understand how you can play through Pokemon constantly just having to switch a flyer out, like, of your box. It's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I've done that like in like black and white too, just because there's so many other good Pokemon.
you know what? Let's go fight the gym leader. Uh-oh, the door is locked.
Why would you lock the door to your gym? That just seems kind of bad.
Just because you're not enough of a gamer, and then make them go inside the old mansion that totally doesn't reveal the super special Pokemon that's genetically created.
Yeah. Which Uwu is.
Uwu, he's a strong boyo that I'm not going to use the Master Ball on because I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, that would.
I am an important doctor. I study fossils here. Have you? I've wanted to use an Aerodactyl before. I just heard it's kind of hard to make work because rock flying's. Because rock flying's kind of
weird type.
rock flying. It's not a bad type. It's just a hard type to make work. The only gen I remember that Aerodactyl had a decent spot in was in Gen 3 as kind of one of the rock slide sweepers. And even then, he didn't really do anything too amazing. You know what?
Aerodactyl is just one of those Pokemon that can really easily be countered if you have one Pokemon.
Well, flying and rock are at least stabs that work with its stats.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. We can continue this in a second. I'm gonna do a time cut here and buy some items. And hey, what's up, boys? I did some stuff off screen. Everybody died. I picked up some items. I healed. I switched my members into the correct order. It was quite epic. Now let us begin on our quest. So in this area, you can find some new Pokemon. So they kind of were too lazy to actually, be original with placement. So they just kind of shoved all the Poison-type Pokemon and Fire-type Pokemon in this area.
Yeah. Okay, so what are some of your hopes for Gen 8?
Hopes for Gen 8? That's a good question, gamer. I'm just hoping, the best thing I can hope for is that, one, they fix the EXP share.
They just make the old EXP share, please.
It was good because you could use it on Pokemon like Magikarp and Abra you just couldn't use. But nowadays it's just kind of like a free win card, basically.
No, it's just like, hey, you want to not play the video game?
Yeah,
here you go.
Yeah, more or less. Another thing I'm hoping for is that they don't do what Gen 6 did, introduce like 50 Pokemon and then just completely rely on the features that the game adds because of it.
Well, I mean, I think right now the Pokedex is supposed to be around 97 new Pokemon.
Which is still the smallest region besides Gen 6.
Yeah. I honestly am at the point with Pokemon where if they didn't add any new Pokemon, I'd be okay with that. As long as they just continuously refine the features really well.
I can't wait to go through these repels, because they last like no time at all.
Yeah.
Remove repels, that's what I want.
Anyone that says that needs to go somewhere.
Commit seppuku.
Commit Sudoku.
Sudoku, not seppuku, Sudoku. Yeah, so we're upstairs now. Yeah, so the Pokemon Mansion, basically, if you want to get into his gym, you kind of have to go through the Pokemon Mansion, which is not very epic.
Yeah, it's just like, hey there, 12-year-old, go through this dilapidated mansion.
Uh-oh, it's a burglar! It's a burglar, oh no.
Oh no, it's an urban explorer, watch out.
Whoa, Shaggy.
He's gonna take pictures.
He's gonna get me, gamer.
Okay.
Just kidding, he died, because they suck. Oh yeah, those guys mostly carry poison and fire type, so probably using subscribe would not be the best option.
Maybe.
Just a heavy perhaps.
But yeah, my biggest hope for Gen 8 is that they just make a Pokemon game that isn't confusing for
new players.
That isn't confusing for the fans of the series, but at the same time still has the appeal. Because it just, like, for me, I was just so outsided by Gen 7.
Here's the thing, Gen 5 was the best. Gen 5 was my second generation, and I felt like, as a veteran I could enjoy it, and as a new player I could enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to just be a new player, you could legit just use your starter and just kind of train wreck, and that's fine. Or you can, like, say, do different things. If you want to actually make this game difficult, don't use 50 Pokemon like me. Actually make the game difficult.
Yeah, it's just, like... And then, like, in the, like, ultra versions of the game, it was also really...
They added almost... Like, sister versions usually don't add a lot, but they literally added nothing in that. Nothing. Like, if they did a bit more, I'd be okay with it, but they did, like... none of it, and I'm triggered emotionally.
Yeah, and then like with like Black and White too, compared to the original, They basically are
Well,
like
Black and White was basically a completely different game. It was basically Black and White, except they fixed some of the massive problems the original had, and they also, kind of
just
made
threw
it.
in half the Pokemon from previous games.
Yeah, that too. That's kind of a small, itty bitty bitty feature that really was epic.
That really made Black and White 2
Oh, hey, I found a Max
really
Revive. That's actually
interesting and
useful.
fun.
I didn't know
It just
Max Revives were here.
it just because like it allows you to use so many like weird Pokemon that like you wouldn't. It's
I've
either
played
really
through
hard
the
to
game a
use in
ton of
later
times,
games.
and I've used a different team almost every time. It is just...
Yeah,
It's
it's
epic.
like you could use Lucario in this game and not have to raise like a level 1 Riolu all the way up.
I forget, did I already grab the item that was over here? Pokemon Mansion is freaking maze. I always get lost in it.
Yeah, and it's just I love Black and White 2 a lot. It's probably my favorite Pokemon game.
Fair enough, gamer. I'm trying to figure out where the heck I'm supposed to go. Pokemon Mansion is just a giant freaking maze, and I'm getting lost.
Even though, like, in all honesty, probably the Black and White 2 has my least favorite starters of any gen.
Yes, that is the weakest part of Gen 5 by far. Is the
It's
starters.
I mean, just because, like, it's also, I definitely like what they did, because for once the starters aren't extremely amazing.
Well, the
I mean,
problem with old Pokemon games is that basically your starter was just the only Pokemon you should really use, and I mean, you can use a couple other Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah. But, like, in Gen 5, like, your starter wasn't the best thing ever.
It was like every other Pokemon in your team. It had its use, but it's not going to train wreck anything. Here's the thing. I feel like the biggest problem that the starters had is that you could only really run strategy, which I admit, limited in Pokemon is not what you want to do.
Yeah, it's just, like, when it comes to, like, the only one that really had, like, that train wrecky potential was, like, Tech Pig and Pig Knight and that line. But even then, it wasn't, like, anything, like, absolutely destructive where they completely wiped out the whole game.
Yeah, it was mostly just, like, it was a Pokemon that could use Flamethrower like every other fire type you would own.
Yeah.
On to another conversation topic, because we've both run out of ideas. Let's
Yeah.
talk about how great it is that Overwatch is kind of dying. Woo! Yeah, guys, let's keep cycling back to this topic. By the way, I'm totally not a TF2 fanboy, by the way. Not at all.
We definitely don't really enjoy TF2 and both have at least over a couple hundred hours.
I think I have like 500 on games, so trust me, guys. I am just a newbie just like you guys.
Yeah, I have 300.
Except you don't even play the game anymore, so you don't have the right to. Yeah, but back to what but like excluding Overwatch from like the whole Overwatch is dead argument. Looking at it from a perspective, the game is dead at this point. 8,000 is its streaming numbers have been low, even with the Overwatch League, which usually the Overwatch League when it first came out had like 1 million viewers on its initial watch, or was it 100,000? It was somewhere high like that.
Yeah, Overwatch was one of those games that I think suffered from how, like,
They
low
put all
the skill ceiling was.
the skill ceiling was too low for like here's the thing, it's too low for good players, but it's too high for like bad players. It's weird.
Like for me, as someone that played Overwatch just like a little bit, I felt like I got pretty good at Lucio, only a couple hours in the gameplay, and I was just like, I want to play comp, but I can't because I'm not level 25 yet.
That's just the problem with the game. The game encourages you to play multiple heroes and kind of be the flex pick your team deserves. The problem with being a flex, though, is the fact that if you flex, you're basically worse at the game because you can't play the game as well as people that can play that hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like the Pokemon, I mean not Pokemon, Overwatch, it just kind of suffered from basically having too strong of a meta and encouraging off picks.
I mean, yeah.
And counter picks. Because the meta was too strong to do the one thing that the game encouraged the most.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. They totally just gave up on the game at one point. Like, people asked, hey, Jeff, are you going to fix this game? And he just kind of said, lol, go play Mystery Heroes. That's like if you said, hey, Valve, do you mind fixing Soldier and Demo Man being, like, the only classes people play?
And then he
And
just didn't.
and then they just
don't
make a
respond.
mode where just you have randomized 6v6 matches. Like, what?
They just don't respond for like 2
I'd rather
years.
have
Like,
them ignore us than straight up just degrade us and say our opinions don't mean anything. I'd much rather
yeah,
have that.
at least Valve gives us the dignity of just not speaking to us.
Yeah. Sadly, though.
So at least we can hope with Valve, but with like Overwatch, they're just like, we don't want to deal with you.
Fair. I think I'm gonna end the video off here. It's been too heckin' epic for an episode, and also I don't like these parts being over 20 minutes long. They get grindy and annoying to watch. In the next episode, we'll finish up the rest of the Pokemon Mansion, and then we'll probably fight Blaine. Who knows?